Okay. Hi, everyone. Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for another edition of Reviewing Your Music. We are live on Twitch, at least at the point where I'm doing this. You're watching it recorded on YouTube. And we are taking live submissions from the viewers, from the fans, and seeing the talent that's floating around in the audience on this evening. Thank you very much for watching. All the artists that we talk about are linked down below so you can hear these songs for yourself, check out their stuff for yourself, follow them, like their songs, share their songs today if you dig on them. Stuff like this only gets around via word of mouth, organic sharing, and that sort of thing. So if you like what you hear today, feel free to, or be encouraged to, share it around and get the word out. So our next submitter has been brought to be by McFarlane, our wonderful mod who helps these segments go over really well. Username Till Dusc, artist Dusc, pronounce he, they, genre indie/R&B. Looks like a few other featured artists or, sort of co-creators credited on the track as well. And Feel the Way is the title of the track. Let's give it a listen.
No, mama says it's bad luck, but I caved and I prayed.
Wow. That was really good. I need to...
Bus, you were never in love.
I'm thoroughly impressed with that. Okay, so a couple of things. Here are the ads. Here are the potential improvements. Okay, I think it could have used a hook. It's really good as is, but I think it could have used something to kind of fill in that gap or fill in the space or just kind of like take up that transition between the first vocal, the second vocal, and before we, sort of like hit that outro, hit that kind of coast down. I think it could have used something there, a section, a passage, something to kind of fill that in that really kind of, again, hooks us in. And I think instrumentally it could have been a little bit fuller, maybe a bass, maybe a synth, maybe a something. I mean, the drums had a great groove and the perks sounded really punchy, really crunchy, great like sound coming off the perks. The guitar was, a little stringy and loose and noisy in a lo-fi sort of way, but it still had a very full resonance to it and sounded very pretty. And the playing, was obviously really beautiful, but was also similarly kind of loose and a little rough around the edges in a purposeful way. Again, I think it just could have used a little something, a little extra bit of instrumentation to bring some more frequency, some more counterpoint. I like the first vocal a lot. I like the guitar intro. I liked how sort of like sleepy and almost alluring it was. And then the way it sort of threw into that second vocal passage that was way more passionate and amped and almost had a slight, almost like a hip hop sort of vibe to it. Like, it felt almost like it was going in that direction, but obviously like it wasn't rapping or anything like that. I liked the combination of influences, they were a little all over the place, but came together in a way that was really seamless. And I liked the vibe of the track overall. It was really pretty. It was really, it was a moment, man. I was kind of just taken aback by just like how pretty and raw and organic it all felt. I mean, honestly, it feels like something that I would, catch in my inbox with some hipster PR guy or record label being like, "Oh, you got to hear this. You got to hear this new Dusc, man. It's really good. It's going to come out on December 31st. You got to check it out, man. The Dusc. Have you heard the new Dusc yet? It's coming out real soon, buddy. You got to hear. Have you heard that new single yet? Feel the Way. Oh, there's a new music video out for it too. You got to hear it, man. Oh, it's out right now. You got to hear that new single, buddy. They're popping. They're going to be doing a Vogue interview soon, man. You got to check it out. See if you want to do an interview on the Twitch channel, man. Check it out." So, I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of great things about this cut. I think structurally it could have used a little bit extra. I think instrumentally it could have used maybe another layer. just to fill out some of the gaps and everything. But there's a lot of good stuff going on. Shout out to Dusc. That was quite good. Feel the Way, very nice. Very nice. Thank you for submitting. All right, here we have our next submission here that McFarlane has verified is in chat. Username PEACEBANDIT, artist PEACEBANDIT, pronouns he, him, genre indie pop. Again, the track is This Year Almost Killed Me. A cassette Giselle also looks to be credited on the cut. Let's give it a spin.
This year almost killed me, drowning in my sense of dread, conversating with the voices.
Okay, I liked that outro. I liked the outro. I fuck with that outro heavy. I liked when the vocals doubled up. I think that whole like sort of, like a cigarette, refrain made a lot more sense in that context and hit a lot harder. And I liked how kind of crunchy and fat and almost, what was that? Like a car crash effect toward the end. It came to a hard end. Like the finish, I think it finished a lot stronger than it started. Okay. A couple of things that I sort of took issue with across the track, granted, good structure, had a great groove to it as well. Decent pacing as well. Didn't really sort of leave you hanging on any one idea for too long. Kept hitting you with new shit all the time, but didn't feel jarring or disorienting. Again, like good solid structure to it. And again, like PEACEBANDIT, thank you. Impressive ending. But there were issues I had along the way. One, sort of the general instrumental and the mix that it had. Like there was definitely an impression of it being a little moody and spacious and open, and yet the drums and the bass and the vocals came together in a way that was so claustrophobic. There wasn't really any room to kind of like breathe or appreciate any of that atmosphere that I think you were trying to inject there. So maybe find ways to make it a little bit more spacious. And then the vocals on the track felt a little at odds to me. There was something almost like a little dark and cold and synth wavy and maybe even a bit gothic about the first vocal passage on the record. That was kind of cool. Maybe it could have been or maybe I felt like overall it was a bit too measured, but the vocals overall were fine. And then we went to the next verse, which I imagine, were sort of your vocals coming into the mix, where, the vocals there kind of read to me as something that would come off like a Foxing record or like a Manchester Orchestra record. Not a vocal style I'm really crazy about generally, but to me, like the two vocal styles here back to back almost felt like oil and water coming together, especially with the vocals that you brought being, I don't know, they just felt a little out of place in terms of like the rhythm and flow that you had and maybe just the tone of your voice for this kind of instrumental and what the song had set up so far. I will say again, like when the vocals doubled up on the end, it, I think like, it really kind of came together and I think it made a lot more sense. But sort of like in the raw and the way that things kind of dropped at that point, and changed in such like I guess like an abrupt way. It just felt like a very odd transition, but hey, kudos and commends, for pulling together like a couple of different styles that I wouldn't have probably even considered to, put together onto a single song to begin with. But, with that being said, those are kind of my major issues and everything else about the track was, pretty solid and impressive. So, I wouldn't do too much else to the song other than maybe, alterations to those things or, just like, voicing at least like some mild discontent with some of the stuff that honestly about the song you may just feel fine with because, maybe you just feel like that's personally your style, that's your vibe, that's your direction. Those are the kind of sounds that you want to bring together and that's fine and fair. But, I'll say personally, the way that it came together and the way it kind of transitioned in such a hard and awkward way was a little off-putting for me, at least. And there were at least a few other people that kind of reacted to that in chat as well. So I don't know, take from that what you will. But still, some good ideas in this one all around. And thank you for submitting. Here's our next submitter for this segment. Username Infradat. Artist is Okas. Pronouns he, him, his. Genre industrial and electronic. The song is Killjoy. Let's give it a spin. Wow. Absolutely horrifying. I think someone earlier said, oh, hey, someone put my tinnitus into a song. But man, heavy, crushing, bestial, just really hellish. Hellish. Did I say frightening already? Very chilling, very freaky, very dark. Respect it. Menacing. Menacing is a great word as well. I was catching like some 9 Inch Nails, some Death Consciousness maybe to a degree. Maybe some fetus. No, just it's fetus. But like obviously like way more. And I'll say maybe to a degree like health, but yeah, there are a lot of cool things going on there. I guess I'll say like, okay, so aesthetically and instrumentally, again, pummeling, heavy, crushing, distorted, great balance of sounds and textures and sound play overall. I think the vocals got a little lost in translation, and the vocals sounded good, by the way. I just think maybe they could have popped a little bit harder. And there were some synth lines that definitely stuck out, and there was like a very throbbing kind of lumbering, murderous groove to the whole thing. And those elements were certainly engaging, but I think the track could have used a vocal line, a riff, something that, like maybe like sweetened the sound of it. Not in sort of like a sugary kind of way, not in sort of like you need to throw a really glossy bullshit, anime pop, whatever in there to make it sound like, whatever. But, just like something to kind of like, come back to her is like maybe a wee bit catchy or something like that. Unless, it's just your goal to like, just fucking ream people and just destroy them, which, that's fine too. There's, definitely, something admirable about that as well. Just beating people to death, with your music. But yeah, man, there's a heaviness and a girth and a nastiness and a devilishness to this that really we have not heard, I think, in any previous Reviewing Your Music segment. This is easily one of the most, again, devilish and evil songs I think we've ever listened to on stream for sure. And, just the overall vibe, regardless of how catchy it is or isn't, is certainly commendable. My ears hurt. I think your ears should hurt after a track like this. Your soul should probably hurt a little bit as well. I know mine does. Killjoy was an apt title. I will certainly give you that. I'm actually a little curious here. I'm going to see what else is popping 2021. Okay, all right. I'm gonna try one more. I'm just gonna give one more, a little bit of a sample here. Throat sounds good enough to eat. Let's try that one out. Again, RIP ear users for this one. Well, there you go, guys. This has been another segment of Reviewing Your Music. Thank you very much for watching. Remember, all the artists we talked about in this video linked down below. You can check them out for yourself. Follow them. Get into their stuff and share it around, and tell your friends if you are digging on it, because these artists need a little extra pump of their shit, because they're trying to get their name out there. Support them. And yeah, that's it. Over here next to my head, it's another video that you can check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, reviewing your music forever.